Hi, fourth grade. So excited to be here today to bring to you another lesson using the elements of art. They are so fun, and this lesson really uses the elements of art. Today, if you remember, in the past, we've used some coloring and shapes and in your designs and lines and that type of thing. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to use all of these, but we're also going to focus on an advanced element of design, which is space and size and using perspective. Today, we're going to do something that's called one-point perspective. It's basically using a tool that'll draw the viewer's eye into your drawing. It's basically 3D. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a 3D bedroom. I think it's going to be really neat. Your teachers thought with you guys reading Chasing Vermeer and the Right 3 books that maybe it would be neat to kind of do a bedroom that's not 2D, which is what I'm sure you guys can draw. This is 3D, and why this looks 3D is because we're using this one-point perspective technique. So this is close to a finished project, except I think if I know you guys, you're going to add in a lot more than just a blanket. You might put, bears in here and some shelves and stuff. But basically, what you can do is you can create a bedroom. You can create a kitchen. You can create any room you want. I think bedrooms are kind of fun. You can do your own bedroom if that helps you. You can do any bedroom you want. You can use the books if there's something that you think you want to draw from the books. But basically what we're going to do together is I'm going to teach you the technique of using one-point perspective, and then you are going to draw the details. So you can see I've left it in here. I haven't erased this, that there's my one-point perspective, and I've used the shape with the lines and shape to kind of lead the viewer, you guys, into this drawing, this direction. So we're going to get started. So what do you need to get started? So the tools that you guys should have at your desk is you need a good eraser, and you need a good pencil. Good sharp pencil would be good. And you need a straight edge. And of course your paper. And if you mess up, you're going to erase. So this is one that we're going to erase, and we're using the type of paper that you can erase well. We're not using the cardstock. So when you do that, what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to center in the paper a dot. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to try to put it in the center of the paper. And that's going to be your first point perspective, and that's going to be a big tool for this whole thing. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your straight edge, and you're going to try to connect that dot, if you can, to the corners of the page. And I wouldn't press too hard, but press hard enough so that you can see it. I'm going to press a little harder so you guys can see it on the video. But you're going to connect these diagonal lines to the edges of your paper. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm just making an X. Well, that's not too hard. So basically just connecting corner to that dot. That dot is going to be key. So step one is connecting the X. That's step one. Now step two is going to be you're going to create a little rectangle in here for the room. And you can do a 2-inch rectangle, you can do a 5-inch rectangle, but the smaller you go, the longer it looks, and the wider you go, the shorter the room looks. So you might want to play with that. I'm just going to go ahead and do 4 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up that number 4 and that number 8 and try to kind of center it a little bit on my line. So you can see here's the number 4 right there and the measurement, and the number 8, that's 4 inches. So I'm going to do a 4-inch rectangle across, and I'm going to do another one over here down below. Okay, you can do any distance, but you kind of want to try to match them up a little bit. You want to do your horizontal lines. So here I've got the start of a rectangle, and then I'm just going to take my ruler, and they may not match up perfectly, but they're probably close. And you're going to draw your up and down your vertical lines. Okay, so now you've got a rectangle. You can kind of already see now this is the basis for your room. So the next thing I like to do, because I always think it's like something you can easily erase later when you put stuff on it, is I like to do the floor or doors. So let's say that I want to do a door in my room. So I want the door over here, let's say. So if you were doing 2-dimensional, you just draw a rectangle, but we're not. We're doing 3-dimensional. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this vanishing point over here, and I'm going to make the door as tall as I want, but I want to make sure my ruler is at that point, and I'm going to go off the page. Now, if you want, you can line the whole ruler from the dot over, or if you want, just put the ruler on there and then line it right here, and that'll save you some erasing. Okay, so I just didn't draw the whole line. I just did it this way. So you can do that too. But now you've got a really good view of the door, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to connect it down to the bottom with a horizontal or a vertical line. Okay, and you try to line up your vertical lines with the side of the paper and so forth. Try to see if you can do that. Now I've got a big door entrance, and if I want, I can put a knob on it. Or if I don't want to put a knob on it and I want this door to be open, like it's going into another room, then you can go ahead and leave it open, and you could actually erase the floor a little bit like it's an open door, and you can start putting in casing like trim around it. So there you've got that. You can go ahead and put in trim on each side of your door, and then you just connect those. Sometimes I'll do it without a ruler just because I'm sketching, so it's okay. So now you can see you've got a door open, and you do the same thing over here with a window. You go back to that 1 point perspective, right? And you just take your ruler and you touch that point, and then you go ahead and you make your window over here. And you're going to do the same thing over here, depending on how low you want the window to go, like that. And then you can connect it wherever you want. There's really no wrong, and you can always use your eraser. So you can see I've got a little over. Who cares? Just do the eraser. It's great. It's done. And then you can do the trim like I did over here in the window. And then a fun thing I always think is cool is the flooring. So when you want to do the flooring, I like to do it straight up and down line, like right here in the middle, and just connect a straight up and down line for the flooring. Then what I like to do is kind of make some marks right here for the floorboards, and just connect those marks to your vanishing point. So see, there's a mark that I made, and there's my 1 point perspective, and that's where we're going to go. So just connect it to my 1 point line. Now you start to see I've got hardwood floors coming in here. Now you guys may want to do carpet, or you may want to do something else, or a rug on your hardwood floors. I mean, there's so many things you can do with a bedroom. But you can see now this is creating hardwood floors. So this is basically the start of a bedroom. And then you can add in like a bed. A bed would be, what I like to do is I go ahead and make my shape. So I go ahead and make my rectangle shape, you know, here. And kind of start there. But then you go ahead and connect it to your vanishing points here, right? So you want to take your ruler and say, okay, I'm trying to connect my bed again. You don't want your bed to look square or rectangle. You want it to kind of vanish in. So then you want to come over here, and you want to kind of make your bed posts, you know, like this. Now you can see how the bed's starting to form. Maybe you have a scalloped edge bed, like that. So then you can kind of start, and you can start to erase lines if they're going through the middle of your bed. So like this line right in the middle, the floor is going through the middle of my bed, so I'm just going to erase that. And maybe on my bed, I've got like a blanket hanging over. Maybe it has some patchwork on it. So those are some of the things the details that you guys can add once you get kind of your basis for your 3D 1 point perspective. You can also do, and I'll show you real quick here, running out of time, one that's looking down on the bedroom. Okay, so those are going into the bedroom. You can also do one looking down on the bedroom. All you have to do is just change how you view the doors and the windows.